Andrew, your starter for the week.
My starter for the week. I haven't gone home yet.
Since last Monday?
Yeah, since last Monday. So I just came and had to drive here, do a few things, look for a barber shop nearby, and work on myself. And here I am. I'm happy to be here. I had one of the most amazing and fulfilling weeks, or the last 6-7 days. Clive, you were in Qatar for the World Cup, right?
Yes, I was.
Yes, Clive was in Qatar for the World Cup. So I went to check what Clive left there.
Oh, the follow-up, yeah?
I went follow-up to see what Clive, Mark Namanya, Darren, I think was there.
No,
Yeah.
Asha
Komgisha. So yeah,
I think even Peace Diane, didn't she?
I saw quite a number that looked like them. But in a nutshell, I went to see what the story is since the World Cup. It's now what, 3 years? 3 years
Since
on?
2022, yeah.
2022?
Yes.
You know, it happened during COVID, looks like long ago. Yeah, so
Forget about kinda.
what a beautiful country. What a beautiful country. Of course, I arrived about the same time as Trump arrived, you know. So,
Did you see his plane, his gift?
I was there in time to actually see him arrive.
Air Force
Hey, for
One.
real?
You know, actually the plane is in the US. That
Air
gift,
Force One.
the gift that was, you know, gifted to him by the monarch of Qatar, and I was surprised. Actually, it's not the first time that monarch is giving away such planes gifting to people. They've gifted to the leadership, I think, in Pakistan. They gifted to Erdogan, the president of Turkey. Actually, his was $500 million. Trump's is $400 million. What I like about that gift to Trump is officially, it's a gift to the state, to the United States, the government of the United States. But in there is a catch. After Trump's presidency, it will be donated to Trump's presidential library. So it's Trump's plane. No, under the Congress and the rest are, you know, up in arms and all. But Trump is telling them, hey, you must be a fool to turn down this gift. Because we are saving taxpayers' money to receive this plane. But at the end of the day,
And using oil money to get it.
yeah, and he's a businessman. That whole trip across Saudi Arabia, the UAE, of course that's Saudi Arabia, Dubai, and Abu Dhabi, and of course Qatar. So I followed events from Qatar. Of course the spectacle was the Air Force of Qatar organizing a welcome, like call it sky diplomacy, where they had fighter jets.
Entertaining you guys.
You know, with Trump's Air Force One, and they were on either side, just landing down with him. And of course, once he landed, it was now the camels on the road. You know, like you have police bikes, so the camels now were the ones with the beast. I don't know, called the beast. So the whole thing, and of course, it was amazing to watch because it was charm from both parties. Trump wanted the deals, and these guys have the money, and they were charming each other, speaking the things they wanted to hear. The only bit, now if I go to geopolitics, the only bit that came through right was the Gaza affair. That didn't come through right. But now, apart from that, went to see what's left of the World Cup legacy. If you remember, there's a stadium which was built out of containers. And to conserve the environment, they had talked of dismantling it at the end of the World Cup. Tell you what, I went to that stadium. It's available the way you left it. So in the end, they decided against dismantling it, and it serves as a tourist attraction. Now, that what you see there is not the stadium. That is just a piece. That's like 3/4 of the entire building, looking like that. That's the Qatari National Museum. Guys, I went into that thing. These guys have architecture. Their designs, of course, the new Doha is inspired by the buildings in New York, but of course adding the Arab culture and all. But what you see in Doha and Qatar, right on the left there, that's the Lafayette Gallery, and then that's like a gift or something where people take pictures. And there's another picture that the producer showed I was at the water. Right, oh, that's the palace of the Emir of Qatar. Now, that palace, you see, stopping to take a picture at plot 1 in Entebbe is criminal.
Yeah, very criminal.
Even looking there.
They're not even supposed to pass around there.
And even touch, you know,
the palace.
Touch the fence, take pictures, no one touches you. Right across it was the FIFA fan zone. So the FIFA fan zone where we went, took pictures, name it. So the whole point of the World Cup is still there. The only complaints perhaps I received were from taxi drivers. They said they do not make as much money as they did at the time. Now that there is one of the several designs that are really inspired. That's the seal, like the seal, you know, like our emblem, Uganda. So that's the seal of Qatar.
That's a building?
Yes, that's a building. Now, those are 2 hotels. There is Royal and Fairmont. Fairmont, the 2 of them. So the other one is a hotel and this is a hotel. So that's when you see the seal or the emblem of Qatar, that's the sword. So celebrating victory and all. So that's the sword there. And that's the Lusail Sports Stadium, indoor stadium. That's where the AfroBasket 2027 is going to be.
Nice.
The World Cup, actually.
So, sorry, the World Cup,
yeah.
sorry.
The FIBA
AfroBasket, yes.
Okay.
So, sorry about that. Then, just to go back into the indoor before we come into that Lusail main stadium, that indoor, I was there for the World Table Tennis Championships. I think Uganda, we have some team there as well. When I went there, we at least our players were not playing at the time. So that's one. If you see that from out, the indoor stadium, my goodness, it's like a full stadium.
I'm loving the lightings already.
The one thing Qatar have invested in is infrastructure. Now, if we go back to that Lusail Stadium, the big one that you had just played, that's where the World Cup final was, right there. That's the World Cup, Lusail Stadium. So they're close to each other to that indoor stadium. So that's where everything happened. That's where Messi and Mbappe took center stage.
Let us sort it out, eh?
Yes.
Yeah.
So all the infrastructure during the World Cup is still there, and games are happening there. The Qatari League is happening. Just last week, I think Friday, Saturday, I don't remember the day. We had the Diamond League also. The Diamond League, Friday, yes, Diamond League, our own Perus Chamtai, of course, finishing 7th there. We had 2 Jamaicans, and then, of course, the legend, Fraser Price, finishing 4th.
Yeah, she was 4th in the 100 meters race.
Tebog also nailing it by the skin of his teeth. So it was interesting and nice to be there.
Did you actually watch?
Yeah. I was there to watch it. So I watched that. I watched the World Championships, and of course, in everything I watched, it was VIP. We were ushered in.
Tell us the VIP experience.
Hosted by Visit Qatar. So when you look at your ticket and you see the amount you paid, for example, the ticket to the Diamond League, you know when things are free, you don't value them much.
True.
So I looked at the ticket. It was 1,300 something Qatari rial. That's about $360 something dollars. That ticket.
$300.
You just have to add 2 zeros to convert it to Ugandan shillings.
Yeah. Or if I say 100 Qatari, just know that's 100K. Okay, something like that.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So all that. Now, of course, we had business class treatment. It was something nice. Everyone should have a relationship with Qatar.
We need friends like those.
Yeah. So then on top of that, if you look, because right now Qatar is the capital of events, sports events in the country, rather in the world. The whole of Middle East, everything is happening right there. So they have, there's a marathon called QNB Marathon 2025. They have the FIFA Arab Cup 2025. Of course, World Championships, table tennis is happening, the Amir Cup. We have
the under 17
World Cup
in
November. And then, of course, they have the basket World Cup,
the FIBA
basket. So what they've invested in, they actually have National Sports Day. Every second Tuesday of Feb, the country stops for sport. So if you see on their website, they have everything, they have their strategic plan by 2030, and sport is huge. Of course, football #1. Then the other bit, they just crossed into 3 million population this year.
3 million.
That's the population of
So
Qatar.
Kampala is even.
But 7 of that are not natives.
Actually, 11% are the real Qataris.
So Kampala, what's the population of Kampala?
10 million
just over 2
during the day.
million. Just
During
over 2
the day.
million.
So we are more than the Qataris.
The whole population. Now they have a big population of the expatriates. Who do they respect?